Oh boy, oh gee, oh golly. Hi! I made it for an Amazing Race episode. My flight was delayed, but I made it. I got stuck in the Berlin airport. Like everybody else did.
Yeah.
So,
Seems like a common occurrence.
Yeah.
Airport.
Yeah. Airport?
Yeah, airport. Sure.
I got Deutsch banned. Sorry.
Yeah.
It happens. It happens to the best of us. But, I made it. I'm here. But hello, hi, racers. Welcome to Cup TV, part of the Currently Unnamed Podcast Network, where we put the real and the tea in reality. And you can always come to us first to quench your thirst. I'm Logan Murphy. Say something gay. I am still desperately trying to get sponsored by Ghost Energy because the raspberry cream flavor is just too good. Not sponsored.
I haven't had that one yet.
It's
Ghost, quit playing
delightful.
around.
Ghost, come to the front. Please and thank you. This is a brand new discovery for me as of literally 2 days ago.
Really?
Yeah, I bought one for the first time on Monday. Specifically the raspberry cream flavor. But I've been drinking Ghost Energy for like 2 years. Literally obsessed. And yeah, if you wanted to sponsor the podcast, we would love that. That'd be gorgeous and lovely and fantastic. So thank you. And if you wanted to help support and potentially, hypothetically, sponsor this podcast, you could do so in the form of a cup mug. Woo! Mike's is coming soon. It is in transit. Don't worry. And you could get yours in transit to be part of your race around the world. At LanaGcreations.etsy.com. Link is in the description below. We do ship domestically within North America and internationally to everywhere that the Amazing Race races around the world. So there are no excuses. And I thank you.
Well, hello. My name is Jack. I am the resident game designer of the panel. And yeah, no, if you've seen any sort of jet lag or anything, watching basically every single team get Deutschbahn this episode, God, it just fills you with a love of the fear of the German train system. Because Lord have mercy, you have to coin flip if something will be on time, be late, or just not exist anymore. Because we just don't know when things are going to happen. And that is why I'm so excited for this season.
And I'm Mike. I'm your buff bodybuilding correspondent down in Dallas, Texas. I put the him and himbo and the gay in video game. And you will notice there's only one half of Team Camo here tonight. And that's because my other half got off at Berlin Spandau and is still there. So it's okay. They're in good company because half this cast is currently at Berlin Spandau.
Yeah. Yeah, I caught up. So all of Team Purple is here today. Because if you didn't know, Jack is my forever Amazing Race partner.
Along with half this panel.
Along with half this. No, I claimed them first. Fuck all of you that want Jack as your partner. I claimed them first. Fuck you all.
I have a yellow, a black, and a green shirt for 3 other teams.
I claimed them first. It is on camera on this channel. Anyway.
4 chances.
Oh, that's supposed to be a ticker banner. And I forgot to make it a ticker banner. Anyway, that's a ticker banner. But yes, very excited to talk about this episode of Amazing Race. Because Prague. How fun.
Prague.
How
Love
fun
the
you're in
city.
Prague. Love Prague. Love Prague. And we're going to talk all about it. Before we do, make sure to subscribe if you have not already, because we're here almost all the time to give you almost all things competitive reality TV. And currently that's a lot. We've got 3 live streams going on currently on Wednesdays, especially. Wednesdays are a big live day here at the Cup TV. But we've got BB UK going on right now. We've got the BB edition of Amazing Race. We've got Love Island Games. We've got Survivor 49, which we'll be talking about tomorrow. Very excited about that as well. We've got Dancing with the Stars. We've got so many fantastic things going on here on the channel and across all of our channels. So make sure to hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you know when we put out all of our content and when we're going live here on the channel. And make sure to check out everything we're doing, all the below for our social media, our other channel, audio podcast, Patreon, everything. If you want to follow us, our links are down in the description below as well. Check them out. But we're here to talk about Prague and these teams. And we lost one last episode, and I'm not mad about it, and I don't want to speak about him anymore. So we're
I was gonna say you lucked out coming where you came in on the season. So.
I am thrilled because my two least favorite teams went home first and second, and I'm very excited about it.
Let's talk about it.
Yes.
Yeah, no,
So
this is just a good layout in general.
Phenomenal.
Love this boot order.
Love the boot order so far. Best possible boot order. So yes, we are headed to Prague via Germany. And we are doing beautiful metro things. And of course, because it's the Amazing Race, we have to have it be the single most chaotic way possible to make it to Prague.
Yeah, I thought this was really interesting. We got a painstaking montage of everybody going through the ticketing system. We all had like maps of like these different groups coming through. It's kind of funny because the only team that I felt like had the most direct shot to Prague was the team that went home, actually, and kind of jumped around all of the issues. And we'll get into that. But yeah, the teams had to be on their toes, pretty much all of them. Some of them their own doing, some of them completely was just the way the chips fell.
I will note, just because it is very important for the scheduling here, we do have one team leaving we have two teams leaving at basically 11 a.m. and the last team leaving at 5:30. So of course, that means that all of the trains are going to be entirely different, but somehow they almost exactly line up with each other in a way that is so good. So good.
This was definitely like an equalizer, like portion of the leg is like getting over to Prague, because it's like it kind of came in like folds. Like whoever came in the first part, those like 3 or 4 teams went into this journey, and then the next group went on this journey, and then Turner and Megan went on their own journey, and then somehow managed to run into another group on the way. So
good.
Like we end up with just this absolute wild, like there's 8 teams on this, original train that then splits into this group of 3 on this better train because people are trying to take advantage. And this is what I was talking about preseason with the strategic side of Big Brother players playing Amazing Race. And we often see bits and pieces of it in traditional Amazing Race seasons. But I'm really happy to see it a little and we saw bits and pieces of it in the first leg as well, with some teams trying to take, a bit more of a strategic advantage at some places. I'm loving that we're seeing, especially with the 3 teams that end up on this better train, trying to take more advantage of things, being the brothers, and the sisters. I love that we're seeing these teams trying to take better advantage of trying to get on better trains, getting this advantage, trying to take any opportunity to get a strategic advantage in the race. I'm like, this is what I was hoping to see in a Big Brother season of the Amazing Race. I'm like, yes, thank you. This is what I want to see.
Yeah, I think that we saw this strategy start to, I think we're going to see it in a lot of the legs coming up, is these teams, if they're not in the very back, if they're not in the back group, they're going to work together. Because I think the mindset is, as long as we're not at the back, if we just go as a group together, we're all going to make it to the next leg. And even if they're in the front, which is a weird even addition, is like the groups in the front are also working together. I would think there at least would be a bit competition at the front, because there is a prize for first place. But No, it seems like we've seen in 2 legs now, if as long as you're not in the back few groups, like everybody's like working together as a unit to get from point A to point B on these legs.
I can speculate as to why maybe that first place prize isn't as enchanting this time around, and it's probably because of the stipends. They were all given like decent cash to be there.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh, well, we don't get like a 1 key cash to like Sri Lanka. Cool. We could book that with the money they gave us anyway.
Right.
So like now this kind of like weird packs of like players moving forward. I cannot wait to see this develop as the season goes on, because if there's any sort of discourse or like basically competing alliances, this is going to become such an interesting game to watch and such a different season of the Amazing Race.
And that's kind of what we expected going into this season too, is like, especially with how many pre-existing relationships we had going into the season. Like, we knew there were going to be some alliances. We knew that that was going to be a part of the game, but we're seeing it manifest in such a different way that it's like, okay, this is so cool. Like, it's really, really cool to see.
And it's going to be interesting when these groups at the back are now like each leg starting to get eliminated, when there's no longer that leg room and now you're the group at the back. It's going to be really interesting to see how these groups work together or who gets kind of cut. I mean, it is kind of a game of Big Brother where they're just kind of working with who they want to work with. And then at some point they're going to have to cut somebody off because it's like somebody has to go home and we can't work with everybody.
Yeah. And it's going to be really interesting to see as the episodes go on and as, you know, more and more teams get cut, who is going to be making those decisions as to, you know, who's in the, I guess, the majority alliance, for lack of a better term. Like, who's going to be making these decisions? Or is it just going to be who's in the front at what particular time? Like, how are those decisions going to be made? Who's going to end up making those decisions? Or is it going to be like based on what twists are available? Like, is it going to be a U-turn that ends up deciding where, you know, these alliances form? Or is it going to be more like a Survivor kind of thing where it's more fluid and you get these like voting block alliances, almost
trust clusters
almost. Like, what is the dynamic going to be? Like, I think this season is just going to be so cool, and I'm so excited to see it. But as teams start showing up in Prague, we get our roadblock for the episode. Who wants a breath of fresh air? I certainly don't, Jack. This is all you.
I'll happily take it.
Great.
Also, Jonathan told me I'm doing this one, so
great.
He is definitely afraid of heights.
Just look up.
This wouldn't be. Yep. This wouldn't be too bad for me, but I would have Jack do it. Like, I could, if this was later in the season and like Jack had maxed out roadblocks that I had to do this one, I could. Mm-hmm. But I would not want to do this roadblock.
Are players told beforehand how, like, when you're about to max out on roadblocks per person?
No.
Not really.
It's typically 6 is when you max. It's 6 or 7.
There is, I will say there is a note in certain roadblocks, especially late season, of like, blank must do this roadblock if like someone has hit a limit, but you're not told you're going over that limit until it's too late.
Okay. I was just wondering if there's something where a producer would step in and be like, so-and-so has to do this, but you said there was a note on their card.
Yeah, it's once you max out, then it's like if Jack, I think it's 6 is the number, because it's 6, typically 7, 8. 10 to 12. With this cast though, it might be 7.
I think
it might be 7 or even 8, actually, because it's a 14-team season. It actually might be 7 or 8 on this season, but like if Jack had maxed it and it's later in the season, the card would say for everybody, it would say Logan has to complete this roadblock.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, so it'll specify on the clue. But yes, so one of the team members has to walk across a narrow plank 255 feet above the ground on the Zhizhkov television tower and receive their next clue. Yeah, this wouldn't have been all that bad for me, but I would have preferred to have Jack do it. Some people did this very, very successfully, and some people who weren't even doing the roadblock had problems with it. Angela, why are you fucking struggling with this when Lexi is the one doing the damn roadblock?
Oh
Quickly!
I was like, why are you looking away? Like, what if something happens? Like, do you want to, like, be looking away if something happens? Like,
girl, you are on solid ground on this tower. Why are you more nervous than your daughter doing the roadblock?
She had to call her out. She had to be like, Mom, look at me.
Lexi, baby, I'm so sorry. Lexi, baby, I'm so...
She was a good sport in this episode.
And last episode.
Yeah. She was being very polite about the helicopter comments, so... But you could see in her eyes, she's like, this is the most annoying thing.
You could tell that the only reason she was there was because her mother was on Big Brother.
Yep.
And she wishes she could have been there with any other member of their family.
Well.
Because they would have done better. Anyway. So yes, of the teams, Lexi completed it. Hannah, Paige, Father Jack. There's only one Jack now, so I only have to say one Jack.
There is only one Jack.
There's only one
Jack.
Yay! Good.
There's just Jack now.
Just Jack. Just Jack. Jazz, not to be confused with Just Jack. Adam, Kat, Rubina, Kyland, Turner. I don't know who the fuck this Matt person is. Stephanie and Tucker were the ones that completed this roadblock for all of the teams. But they come in various waves, of course, because of the train situation. With the first three teams coming in being Natalie and Stephanie, Joseph and Adam, and Jazz and Jag, who then continue to dominate this leg. This is a very, this is a pretty standard Amazing Race leg where we've got 3 teams in the front, 5 in the middle, 4 in the back, and those clusters of teams don't really know where any of the other teams are because of the whole train metro debacle. So it's a pretty standard early race, Amazing Race episode, which did make for good television, but it was pretty standard in that way.
I think it's a breath of fresh air after episode 1's scheduling chaos of
chaos.
Just everybody getting stuck on the cheese.
Did you expect anything else from 14 Big Brother teams? Because I certainly didn't. I certainly did not.
We're seeing something special for sure.
This is certainly going to be a unique and different season of Amazing Race. That's for sure.
But yeah, this felt like a very standard episode. Outside of kind of the train debacle was a kind of maybe notable, but otherwise it felt more standard Amazing Race this time around.
Certainly.
Yeah. I mean, replace the lovely little train groups with flight groups, and you have a standard Amazing Race episode. But I'm not complaining too much. Indeed.
So they very quickly get through their things. It's pretty standard. They move on to the next. They move on past the roadblock as the second group of 5 who were part of the 8 on the original train. Jesus Christ. They just now arrive in Prague, but then Hannah and Simone get lost. It's a whole thing. So, once again, now we're getting more lost, but it's fine because the next 5 teams get to the beam for the roadblock, but then the first 3 teams make it to the detour. So now they're working on the detour. So detour, remember the chair or handle with care. So either you are memorizing 11 town crests and reciting them back, or delivering 48 Bohemian glass goblets.
There was a clear, in my opinion, easier one of the two here. And I feel like it was the glasses. I feel like the chair stumped a lot of teams. And I think this is one of those cases where you read the detour note and there isn't enough context clues to figure out, like, should we take this or not? Because I think if they had full knowledge, it's one of those things, if they had full knowledge of what it entailed, I think they would have gone for the goblets.
This definitely feels like one where it's either brute force for a set amount of time. There is very little way to screw this up, so just do it. You know how much time you're going to take.
Right.
Or do a memorization task that has 2 different points of failure for 11 different variables. That means you can either get it done instantly and essentially pass everyone that's doing this and the teams that are struggling, or struggle with this to the point that you're throwing yourself into last place.
Yeah.
Real gambling. And I would absolutely do remember the chair.
I would too, because we are not a team that likes physical labor.
Okay, that was not my reason.
Can you tell what me and Jonathan would do?
Well, obviously.
The glass.
Yeah,
right?
we would do the glasses.
Have you seen the muscle?
Yeah.
The only thing is that Jonathan was like, wait, that's purple, because he's colorblind. So I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna be calling the colors for that one, babe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
well,
you know what? That's a good reason.
Well, no, I know the reason why we would do remember the chair, because Jack and I are both very good with attention to detail. I actually think the 2 of us would do very, very well with this one.
Mm-hmm.
It's less to do, and also, we ain't trying to do physical labor. Like, that's the other thing, like, compounded between the 2. Like, attention to detail is definitely more our strong suit. So I think that would definitely be, like, collectively, that is one of our strongest areas. So I think that would definitely be that's always somewhere where both of us would want to default.
Yeah, I think with Remember the Chair, you just have to keep with it if you're making mistakes, and just be diligent, because it, for a couple of these teams, it really did wear them down, being wrong again and again and again. But I mean, it's just one of those things of, like, you need to power through and just don't let it bug you, because the more it bugs you, the more you're going to make mistakes when you try to recite these names.
Yeah. It was so interesting, the division of teams ultimately that we get for this detour, because all 3 of the top teams pick handle with care. Like, they all go with the goblets, which I thought was really interesting. And then we get the middle group here, and when they all get through the roadblock and they all go to the detour, they all pick remember the chair. And then you get the last group, they finally make it through, they all get through the roadblock. 3 of them decide to go with remember the chair. Kylan and Taylor are the only ones that decide to go with the goblets. Ultimately, it's a great move on their part, because they are a physical team. And they know, once they realize, oh, we're in the back of the pack, like, we need to do something to kind of catch up. They know, like you were saying, Jack, it's a physical task for a set period of time. They know they have the ability, compared to a lot of these other teams, they know they have the physical ability to get through that as quickly as possible. They know they're going to be fine. So it's one of those things. But it was so interesting. It's always interesting seeing the division of teams in detours like this. It was so interesting that all three of the front-running teams just decided to do the same, and then really no one else did until you saw Kylan and Taylor do it.
Mm-hmm. You know what? I was surprised who didn't do the goblets, which was Tucker and Eric. I was surprised.
Well, Tucker and Eric were a unique team on this leg in general because they
skipped.
They find the clue box for the pit stop accidentally. Go find Phil. I still don't know.
How? Like, I thought. So I'm trying to remember the detour. That clue didn't get them. No, it did get them to another post, and then that post sent them to the pit stop. Now I'm remembering.
The roadblock. So from the roadblock, they go to. I'm not even. Jack, can you pronounce the place that they go to for the detour?
It's Charlemagne the Fourth statue. I don't know what it's called.
Yeah, but
so they go to a statue, but then have to go to essentially a different statue for the other part. And obviously, these two are close enough that one team can accidentally mix one up for the other.
That's bad leg design. I'm sorry. That's not on Tucker and Eric. That's bad leg design.
I was thinking this had to be like, this whole leg had to be within maybe like 5-6 blocks if they're making that mistake.
That's bad leg design. And you know what? You know what's really funny? We talked about this last season, Jack, in Bali. We talked about this last season in Bali. We had the same problem. And we've had this problem with a couple of legs the last couple of years on Amazing Race, where, like, when they had the leg in Bali, we loved it. Loved the leg in Bali, but it was literally like a 40 or 50 square mile leg, and everything was in basically a straight line. So you could get lost, and you could end up in a, and that was not the only leg last season where we had that issue where it kind of like, you could end up in a similar, I don't remember what the other leg, I remember we talked about it distinctly, Jack. I don't remember which leg it was. But there was one or two other legs last season, and maybe even the season before in South and Central America. I actually want to say the leg in the Dominican Republic, we had that problem. When Danny and Angie got eliminated, we had that problem with when they had the turnaround, a whole situation. I'm also still pissed because they're friends of ours and they didn't deserve to go home that leg, but that's beyond the point. Like we've had that issue over the last couple of years where this is gonna sound blunt, but it's kind of true. Designing for these legs has started to feel a little bit lazier, where it just feels like the pits the clue boxes are a little bit closer together, and so you end up with situations like this where if you don't know better, you end up finding the clue box for the pit stop. And it's like
I mean, this statue that they were supposed to go to, it was right next to a bridge. So I'm like, how close was the clue box to the pit stop that they were near the bridge and then they found the clue box to go to the pit stop?
So I did check.
Okay.
Oh.
The distance between the Joseph Manus Monument and Krishnoki, that's my best guess there, is a 7-minute walk, 500 meters.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So it's not unrealistic for a team to accidentally find a different route info that makes sense and then go to a different place.
And with where teams had been, 3 teams had already checked in at that point, so they couldn't like block off that clue box because 3 teams had already checked in. So it's like, it's just logistically, it's just one of those weird situations, but there should be, it
Would
Yeah.
you think a producer should step in and be like, this is not the box?
but they can't really intervene in the race.
But they can't.
So only when Phil at the end, he's saying you didn't finish this
Yeah.
leg yet. Okay.
That's literally
That's
same,
the only place.
It's the same situation that happened with Danny and Angie in 35, 36, whatever season that was, when they lost their cameraman. That's the exact same situation where like they couldn't be told that they lost their cameraman or that they got a penalty until they got to the pit stop, because it would be production interference, and that's
Gotcha.
technically an advantage. It sucks, but like that's one of those things.
As I am currently looking at it, and I will send a screenshot of this. Actually, let me just pull up my screen because it's
I was gonna
interesting
say I'm
enough
kind
to
of
look
curious.
at.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm kind of curious.
Let me go ahead and share this tab right here and pull it up. So, the rightmost thing is the television tower.
Okay.
So there is the dot right here.
Uh-huh.
This is the route info you get to before you would go to one of the detours.
Okay.
Right here, that where you can see right here, this is where they accidentally went. It's not hard to make this mistake.
That's
really
really
isn't.
close.
Yeah.
To the point where it's like, literally, go anywhere else. This is a bad.
That's
you should not
wild.
have two
And it's
very similar things this close.
No.
And it's right next to a bridge. I mean, it looks like a roadway bridge, but still, you couldn't fault them for making that mistake.
No.
You really can't. It's
pretty
pretty rough.
And the best part of all of it, it didn't fucking matter.
Yeah,
Because they went to the pit stop, and then they went to do the detour, and then they went back to the pit stop, got the same place they would have, and got ice cream. What do you mean they stopped for ice cream?
Okay, they smashed that chair challenge. They really did.
They really did.
That
They
is the
walked in there, pissed on them, then walked back.
That is the single most Tucker thing I have ever seen. And I'm just like, of course it's Tucker. Of course it's Tucker.
Well, he loves puzzles.
He really loves crests.
I love puzzles.
I love puzzles.
It's so good because Tucker, of course Tucker would fucking do this. This is a
Of course he would.
Mm.
And
I thought it was a little shady that Rubinian's like, yeah, let's just leave Tucker. And it didn't work out. It didn't work out because they laughed her.
It's so beautiful that
I mean, this could be the start of the contention between the two.
Contention arc, yeah.
Ooh, start of the breakup. Ooh.
Oh my god.
Ooh.
But yeah, simply put, this entire leg is within probably 10 kilometers of each other, which explains a lot of how quickly everything got done.
Is it because the next leg is also in Prague?
Maybe. I don't think it's in. Is it in Prague specifically?
I'm looking.
But
it's in the Czech Republic.
It's in the Czech Republic, probably the same way that they do city and rural. They're probably
we might have like one part of the leg in in Prague, and then they go out into the countryside. I'm hoping maybe. I didn't really get a whole lot from the preview. I'm not entirely sure.
Neither did I.
Does that mean this is a
Interesting.
driving leg?
It might.
Maybe.
I don't know, but I didn't really have any other standout moments. So if we want to talk about results, I didn't have anything else that stood out to me.
I'm good to go.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, nobody is going to be surprised by the fact that Jag and Jazz won again.
It's like Big Brother 25 all over again. Jag has won.
Yeah, we knew it was going to be whatever. Okay, great. Cool. You know, they won 1 key cash for a trip to Sri Lanka, which I think is pretty cool. Cool. Lovely.
I want to go to Sri Lanka.
That sounds. Pull up in the Sri Lanka. Oh no,
Yeah.
I can't say that right now. They're fighting. I don't want to take sides. I am not taking sides. I am a Queen Irby fan. That's the side I'm taking. Because she is mother. Anyway, yes, Jag and Jazz win again. Joseph and Adam come in second. Yay. Wonderful. Wonderful. And then in third, Natalie and Stephanie. Yay. Yay. Love it, love it, love it. And then Tucker and Eric with their goddamn fucking ice cream.
Iconic behavior, honestly.
I have no choice but to accept it. And you know what? They'll get their 8s today because they ate ice cream.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know.
The flashback of just 15 minutes ago, them not giving a fuck. Beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah, the editing gets 10s. Tucker and Eric get 8s because they ate the ice cream. In 5th, coming in, Hannah and Simone, after getting lost, they killed that detour too. They did a pretty good job with it.
They did this thing that I think was like really, really good. They were like closing their ears whenever they were told to recite each one. And I think they were doing because they were trying to like photographic memory remember the person saying it to them. Because I will do that too. Like a lot of times I'll close my eyes and I'll try to remember if I'm trying to remember like something visually or something like audibly, I'll do that. I'll take out all stimuli.
When you remove one sense, your others get stronger. So absolutely. No, that's that's a great strategy for it. Another team that's doing really well and I'm really happy about it. Let's go lesbians.
Yes.
Let's go lesbians.
Yes.
Not as good as last leg, but we'll take it in 6th. We'll take it.
They're doing pretty good so far. I'm
3rd and 6th. I'm not mad.
Yeah.
I'm not mad.
And especially because the only reason they realistically dropped so much is because they didn't train. Yeah.
Train.
Mm-hmm. They said themselves they're not athletes and, you know, they're still doing just as fine.
Yeah. Yeah. Coming in 7th, Jack and Chelsea. Well done, well done, well done. And then Christine and Rubina coming in 8th of the original 8 of Train.
Yeah.
And then you get the last 4 teams of Bad Train. And of Bad Train, of course, Kylan and Taylor were going to be the team that came in first of the Bad Train teams, coming in 9th. Because they fucking smashed that detour. They absolutely killed that detour.
It was
like,
just,
come on,
it got so late to Prague.
Yeah.
It was just an hour, but that was apparently enough.
I mean, because that, like, the roadblock took 0 time if you just didn't care about heights, which none of the first 8 teams really did. Like, I don't really remember anyone caring, really.
Adam did.
Adam a little bit.
Slightly,
yeah, but that's about
he got over it pretty fast.
Once he started walking, he was like, I was like, that's a strategy. Once you start walking, don't like psych yourself out. Just walk normally. You don't fall when 100%. You walk normally. So.
100%. A rough leg for Kat and Alex, but they made it. Happy to see it. I'm very worried. I'm very worried. Yeah. I'm so worried, but it's fine. and it becomes almost a foot race between Angela and Lexi and Megan and Turner. But Megan and Turner do come in 11th, and Angela and Lexi are eliminated second. Bye.
Yeah, they were just not. They were not going to get past even a third of this race. They just were not up to snuff, unfortunately.
No.
I agree.
Bye.
I am very interested to see the storyline of Megan and Turner just kind of like repeatedly doing exactly enough to just sweep by, and she's like, no, you're actually still good.
I don't think it's going to last another leg.
I don't either. I think this next leg may be their last. I think there's honestly... there feels like a lack of drive, honestly, from them. There needs to be this kind of like kick your tail into gear, kind of like, we got to go, 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 go. And you see that in other teams, but Turner and Megan are just naturally very chill. And I think
and I honestly hope, and this is no shade to either one of them because I think they're both lovely, but I hope that if they do make it through, I hope it's not at the detriment of other teams that do have that go, go, go mentality that, like, frankly, I'll just say that feel like they want to be in the race more, that maybe end up not necessarily like, or maybe have a bad leg. Someone like a Christine and Rubina, potentially, I could see maybe slipping. Someone like a Kat and Alex. I could even see like a team like Jack and Chelsea, because I think Chelsea is very, very strong. I worry a bit about Jack. You know, he does have that strength, but as a team, I'm finding them not. It's two legs, obviously. Anything is possible. Anything can happen. I'm not finding them to be the strongest team yet. And actually, I'm going to say this. I'm a little bit surprised by this as well. I'm not finding Kyland and Taylor to be as strong of a team as I expected them either.
I was going to say I'm a bit worried for them as well. Of course, I always go back to how Derek and Claire did in the first part of their amazing
race. And they were very mid.
And then they smashed it when they needed to at the end. So,
and that is kind of how both Kyland and Taylor played Amazing Race, or played Big Brother. So, you know, we'll see.
I will note, obviously, the one thing here is that there was no chance for Kyland and Taylor to move up past 9th this episode due to everything that happened before.
Oh, of course.
I think once the trains can actually equalize and like they get back in, I could see them jumping up a lot of positions. It wasn't possible this episode.
Yeah.
But I do agree with you, though. There are some teams where I'm worried about. Jack and Chelsea is one of them. They're the teams that I feel best about are the ones that honestly work together so well as a group. And those are all the brothers. That's, I would say, Paige and Izzy. Just people who just like, they're very well, like they work like a well-oiled machine. They don't fight a lot. They're encouraging each other. Those are the teams I have faith in.
I would say that I'd say the teams I feel the strongest about right now are definitely the 3 pairs of brothers for sure. And then our sisters, Natalie and Stephanie, and Hannah and Simone. And then I would say Izzy and Paige as well. And those are literally the 6 from this episode. So like, I especially feel really good after this episode. I feel really good about Hannah and Simone. Like I feel like it, and this was an episode where they did face a bit of adversity and they worked really, really well through it. And that was one of the things we talked about preseason was like, okay, are they going to fight? Well, like once they hit a little bit of adversity and a little bit of challenge, are they going to fight? Are we going to see a little bit of struggle between them? Or are they going to be able to work together and work through it? And we saw them work through it very, very well, bounce back and end up in that second group, ending up second of that group. So I feel really, really good about that pairing overall. I think Hannah and Simone really, and I talked about it a little bit when we talked about them preseason. I could see them really being a dark horse team in this season and really kind of flying under the radar in this kind of season and really making a deep run, especially with the connections that Hannah has on this cast when it comes to the more strategic side and like the U-turns and all that kind of stuff. I could really see them making a deep run in this season.
I mean, we're going to start seeing next episode with, what was it, the driver's seat?
Yes.
Yes.
So we're now going to start seeing the strategy and inner relationships start to play out next episode.
I can't wait to see how this turns out.
I'm going to just pray that they figured out why the driver's seat didn't work last time.
That's what I'm praying for too.
And I mean, they're going to be more strategic, so I could see it becoming a lot more interesting, but we'll see.
That's what I'm hoping for the most. I think because this is a strategic cast, I think it's going to work a little bit better. Because the reason the driver's seat didn't work last time was because the cast was not strategic.
Yes.
So, in a strategic cast, I think we're going to see it work. And I'm excited for it. So, with that being said, we'll be back next week at our lovely live time of right after the episode airs. So, stay tuned for that. Thank you for joining us for this lovely, wonderful episode 2 recap. Let us know all your thoughts down in the comments below. Make sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know when we put out all of our beautiful, lovely reality TV content here on the Cup TV, and make sure to check out everything we're doing across the Cup Network. All the links for that are down in the description below. We've got some wonderful reality TV content coming over on Patreon here very, very soon, so stay tuned for that. You can also get your cup mug at lanagcreations.etsy.com. And with that being said, racers, we have to go do other things racing around our lives because our lives are constantly racing and all of those lovely things. So with that being said, we are going to go ahead and get out of here. So cheers, everyone. Good night. Bye.
Cheers.